Hi guys, welcome to a new video, and today I'm going to be doing my update, which I promised last time I think, because last time I did the Toy Owners collection update. So today I'm going to be showing all the CDs I've got, and I picked up one vinyl, but I was hoping I'd find more, but because I've been working a lot these days, and I just haven't had the time to go any good places to get vinyls, which I usually do, but I picked up quite a lot of good CDs, so we'll get started with them first. And the first one is a new release, and it's Sheryl Crow, Feels Like Home. And I have to say, this is a really good album, a lot better than I expected, considering I really do love her older material. It's very country. It's probably the most country sounding album I've got now, and it has that nice summery American feel to it, considering this was released like, winter here, and it was released in the US September last year I think it was. And Shotgun is a really great opening track. It just really draws you in the instant it comes on, and I also like Easy, so really good tracks to start the album off. Still hasn't grown on me like the second half of the album, but I'm sure I'll just get into it as much in the future, so yeah. And buying that made me want to get Sheryl Crow's self-titled album from 1996, and I really love the artwork on this. It's very gritty, very raw and mysterious, which I like about Sheryl Crow. And it has some really great songs like Every Day's a Winding Road, If It Makes You Happy, and Redemption Day, sorry. I've only listened to that track like once, so yeah. And I also picked up her third album, The Globe Sessions, which has my favourite track she's ever done, which is My Favourite Mistake. Just a perfect song, just brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to this one in particular. Even though I do probably like the 1996 album, I think this one's probably going to blow it out the water for me anyway. Next is Grace Jones, Eye on the Knife. This is a 1985 compilation CD. And my dad's got this, but I've always wanted my own copy because I've been playing it that many times, and I've been playing it on my iPod. And even though it's only got 10 tracks on this, each one is amazing. I never skip the album because they all just stand out, even though I do prefer her 80s work to the 70s stuff she did. And the artwork is just magnificent as always, just very iconic, and yeah, love it. Next is Grace Jones' last album she released, which was Hurricane, well, the latest one she released, which was 2008, so it's been quite a good few years since then. And I think this might be my favourite Grace Jones album, I think, because even though I do love nightclubbing and Slave to the Rhythm, I think this has such a really good, well put together feel to it. It just feels like a beautiful, magnificent album, even though I would say it's very experimental, maybe even more so than Slave to the Rhythm, and that was a bit mad. Just the way the instruments are in this, and the sounds, and Grace's voice, even though it's a lot bit of auto-tune, but it's even though she can sing anyway, but it's to put the effect onto the album, and it works really well, because sometimes a lot of artists auto-tune doesn't work, but in this case it really does. And a lot of the lyrics are very personal as well. I like Well, that's probably my favourite track on the album, and the artwork inside is just really amusing. The minute I looked at it, I was just amazed. Basically, it's got photos inside of Grace in a chocolate factory as an employee, and on each page she's got a different colour uniform on, and it's just really interesting. I wasn't expecting this in the booklet, just usual lyrics and stuff like that. So I really do recommend this album. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 by far, I think. So yeah, I paid £7 for it in HMV. I know you can get it a bit cheaper these days, like off the internet and stuff, so yeah, absolutely fantastic. And luckily last week I found this, which is Hurricane Dub, which is like a special edition of Hurricane. This was released 2011. It's got one disc is the basic Hurricane album, and the second is Hurricane Dub, which is like sort of remixed album. Same songs, but just sound different. Some are slightly longer, Greatest Journey is as prominent in this one, but it's still a great addition if you love the Hurricane album. And if you can find this anywhere, you might want to try this, or you might just want to get the standard edition. So it's up to you really. As long as you get Hurricane, it doesn't matter. But the artwork again is just amazing. So yeah. Next is one that, this is an artist I've only just started getting into really. I've got one vinyl of hers, but I've only listened to it like twice, and it's PJ Harvey, and this is her second album, Rid of Me. I know that she released an album before this called Dry, I think it is, from 1992, I think. I might have got that wrong, sorry. Yeah, this is Rid of Me, and it's a very, very loud, rocky, slightly angry, and a lot of the songs, her voice sounds like she's in pain, but I have a soft spot for this album because I like very weird and left field music, so I'm glad to like it. Although I must admit it isn't as instant as artists like Bjork or Tori Amos. It's just my personal opinion anyway, but I'm definitely glad I bought this, and I really want to get Dry because I've heard that album is a lot more easier to listen to than this one. So yeah, I've only listened to about the first half of this a few times, so I haven't really got round to like the second half. But the first song, Rid of Me, if you listen to it, I really do recommend you having the volume down because it starts off very quiet, and then all of a sudden it just goes loud, and it just made me jump out my skin when I played it. So yeah, good artwork as well. Next is another recommendation from an artist that someone told me about, a personal friend, and it's Regina Spektor. I've always known about this artist the last couple of years, along the likes of Tori Amos, of course, and in the same sort of line as her. But I don't think she's ever had a big hit over here. I know that she released her last album a couple of years ago, which was What We Saw from the Cheap Seats, I think it's called. So this was the first one I found. I've seen this in HMV, and I thought I'll just buy it because I might like it, I might not. So it was a bit of a risk, and I think it's okay. It's quite hard to listen to in some songs, but I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm definitely going to keep this. I'm going to listen to it a few more times to see if it grows on me even more. It's not bad, but I think I've got more things I want to listen to than this one. But I must admit, the artwork is good, and I do respect a female artist that writes her own songs and puts them together in an interesting way. I mean, who has songs called Carbon Monoxide? Things like that really. Next is an artist that is very well loved in the UK. It's Sophie Ellis-Bextor, Triple Like Fantastic, which is her third album, I think. I've got Read My Lips, which was her first album, and that was a good one. I haven't got a second. And this is really good as well because I've got the actual basic jewel case edition. I know that a lot of these copies of this album are in the weird sort of jewel case, which I don't like, but I just found this in HMV and I just swiped it straight away. And this is a really, really good album. It's very electronic and it's very sort of disco feel to it. And it's actually really good, a lot better than I expected. I think I actually prefer this to Make a Scene because that album was good, but it was a bit messy in some parts, I must say. So it's just a shame she didn't have more hits off this. I know she had Catch You, which was a top 10 hit. I think Me and My Imagination is my favourite track on this. So yeah. And also, she had a new album released a couple of weeks ago, which is Wanderlust. And it's doing really, really well on the charts, which is fantastic for Sophie, considering Magazine didn't do that well at all when it was released. So I'm very pleased for her. And this is a very, very different feel. It's not the usual dance disco queen sound. It's a lot more traditional, and it's got a very maybe it's like Kate Bush feel to it, natural instruments, and it's just a perfect pop album. It's not as instant as her previous material, but if you listen to it a few times, you'll notice that a lot of the tracks are very beautifully well put together. And my favourite song on it is Runaway Daydreamer. When I listen to it in my earphones, I just get goosebumps listening to it. and the artwork is amazing. I know there's a special edition of this as well, so you might want to get that one. Next is an album that came out this week, and it's Katy, and it's her second album, Little Red, after the first album, self-titled album. And I did have her first album when it was released, but I think I gave it to my sister because she was a big fan of Katy, and it was a good album, but there was something I didn't like about it. I loved all the singles because songs like Turn the Lights On, Easy Please Me, and Katy on a Mission, they were good, but the way the album was, it felt like it was all clumped together, and it didn't feel like an album. It felt more like a CD of songs, but I did like it. But this feels really good. It feels like an actual album. A lot of the songs aren't as catchy as older ones, but there's some really great contenders on this. I like 5am, and of course the new single Crying for No Reason, which could be my favourite song she's ever done. Very, very beautiful and breathtaking. And she looks really gorgeous on the front cover as well. And I love the font. And yeah, I'm definitely going to listen to this a few more times over this week and grow me even more. Next is an artist, well, a band, a duo that I've been getting into a lot recently after I listened to it the other day, their biggest hit. And it's Everything But The Girl. And this is their biggest hit, Missing. If you listen to it on YouTube, you might recognise it, or a lot of you might already know what it is already. It's basically like a 90s house track remix. And I've seen this in a second-hand shop, and I just picked it up straight away, and then I was on the hunt for some of their albums. I only found 2 of them. The first one is Walking Wounded, which has very interesting artwork, considering the barcodes on the front. It's got, I think it's Japanese on it. And it's a very, very good like dubstep sounding album. Very, very chill out as well. You could listen to this in the car at night time, and I think it would sound really good. Considering I'm not a very big fan of dubstep, especially these days, but back in the 90s it was used in a very good way. And the lead singer's vocals and the sounds are really, really a good match. And the single Wrong is on this album, and that's a really great track. Not as good as Missing, but it's very catchy and has a great beat to it as well. So yeah, I'm really liking this album a lot at the moment, and I'm really hoping I can find their other album soon, especially Amplified Heart, which is the one I want most. And I also picked up their last album they ever released, well, I think, and it's Temperamental. It continues like the same sort of sound as Walking Wounded. It's not as catchy, I don't think, as Walking Wounded, but it's a very good album nonetheless, and I like the artwork. It's very unusual, and I only paid £1 for this in a record shop, so that was a nice surprise. So yeah. Next is an 80s album from a band I'm very respected of, and it's Deacon Blue, and this is their first ever album, Raintown. I love the artwork as well. It's got like a skyline photo of Glasgow, I think it is. And this is a really, really great album. I really like their song Real Gone Kid and Dignity, which is on this album. And it just sounds really good, you know. It sounds like a very well put together album. It's basically about the misery or the sort of being fed up of growing up in a place like this, but in the city area, in the suburbs. And you know, it's a great storyline-telling album, and I really do recommend it. It just sounds, I know it's quite confusing, me trying to explain all about it, but once you listen to it, it sounds really good. Very good, well put together 80s stuff, no cheese at all. I definitely wouldn't say this is cheesy. And I want to see if we can try and get more of the other albums in the future, so yeah. And the last CD I picked up is Kylie Minogue, the Abbey Road Sessions. I would have picked this up at the time, but I think there was that much stuff released that I just picked up a lot of other stuff, so this was left out. And I picked this up mainly because I've been listening to a lot of Kylie lately, for the big build-up for the new album, Kiss Me Once, I think it is, and the single Into the Blue. And this is good, very, very good, put together, and she really just transforms a lot of the songs, like from the pop stock Aitken Waterman era into like classical songs. but I do love the electronic Kylie, the dances Kylie. But this was a really good attempt, and the artworks were really well done as well. So it was a nice change when it was released at the time, and I really am looking forward to the new album in next month. So that will be a nice new release. And lastly, the vinyl I picked up is Grace Jones Island Life, which I picked up in a record shop. Condition's quite good as well, and it sounds really amazing on vinyl. I also seen one of her albums there, and it's the one released from 1982, Living My Life I think it's called. But that was quite expensive and the condition wasn't perfect, and I thought I'd rather just get this one, it'll keep me happy, and it has a great fold gatefold setup which has all the photos from the booklet for the CD, and it's very interesting artwork on this, very good photos. She's very well known for her style, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's it. Right, and that is it everyone for my update collection. I hope you enjoyed it as usual, and hopefully next time will be a good update, considering there's going to be a lot of new releases in the next few weeks, like Paloma Faith's new album, A Perfect Contradiction it's called, that's going to be amazing. I've also Kylie's new album, and I think there was another one but I missed what it was. I forgot. So that is everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really do appreciate the comments as usual, and speak to you soon.